Welcome to 2022. This is gonna be the best year yet, guys. That's just the way it's gonna be. It's the way it's gonna unfold. It's gonna be full of terrible things that happen and horrific things that occur. It's also gonna be filled with so much awesomeness and so much goodness, and you know, it's really about what you focus on. So here we go.
Hi, my name's Dave, and I've spent most of my life outdoors here in Canada's western frontier. I believe one thing to be true. Outside is therapy. It's where we both reconnect and disconnect. I hope you come with me as we build, explore, and repeat.
And if you're new here, and this is, we're in the new year, so anything's possible. If you guys want more of this stuff this year, I want you to hit that smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that notification bell if you want to stay up to date with what me, Zeus, Tyler, and Yucca Campers and Blindman Overland are doing here in Central Alberta, Canada. So what this video is all about is the top modifications that I made to my truck last year, so it's 2021. A lot happened in that year, a lot of stuff went on, but I want to go through kind of the things that were game changers in the year that really helped out. So you're going to see some cool gear from some cool manufacturers. The more I think about it, the more I realize as 90% of what I'm going to show you, maybe not 90, maybe like 75% of what I'm going to show you are all Canadian companies. So a lot of this stuff is local, which I'm a big fan of, as you guys know. So there's a lot of it that isn't as well, but anything that is made here in Canada, I'm going to make sure I give you guys a special shout out. Let's go do it. Let's go talk about the truck stuff. One of the things I did early last summer was I took my air compressor, which is just a MotoMaster Canadian Tire brand air compressor. What I did is I removed the grill of my Frontier. I'll put a link in the description or in the little watch now drop downs if you guys want to check it out. But it is not a permanent, like an air compressor that's designed to be permanently mounted. It comes in a case, but just to increase storage space in my truck, what I decided to do is mount it permanently in behind my grill. And I kind of mounted it in an area where once we put the winch in, it's not going to intrude too much with the winch in the bumper. That's this year's plan. But yeah, like I said, so that's a MotoMaster air compressor. And what I've done is I mounted it to the cross frame and I installed a little bar going this way. So that the other foot peg on that compressor could sit in there, so it could sit relatively straight and perpendicular with the front of the truck. And then what I did is I installed this button here. So this button turns that compressor on and off. Now, full disclosure, there was about 2 or 3 months where the air compressor wasn't working. I couldn't figure it out why. But then I removed the switch here and found out that the old switch that I was using just shorted out over time because there is no protection underneath that switch. So some of those things got corroded. So what I did this time is I pulled it out, put a new switch in, and I just doused those connectors with dielectric grease to help try to keep some of that moisture out of there. So yeah, and it is working now, and I'll show you guys that right now. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. So now you can see it down there. I've turned the lights on so you can actually kind of see the compressor where it's sitting there. And that is connected to this hose here. And to turn that on, like I said, you just hit that switch there, and you got air coming out. When you're done, you hit it off. And then that switch, this switch is engaged by a switch inside the cab of the truck, which I'll show you guys right now exactly how that works. Because that was another install that I did in 2021 that really made all this awesome. Made my life so much easier off-road. So next is the SPod. So this is what I was talking about with the air compressor, where one of the installs that I did that made adding accessories and different things to the truck extremely easy. This was actually donated to the channel by Shane. Shane is a longtime subscriber and watcher of the channel. So shout out to you, buddy. Still appreciate you. This thing has just been absolutely awesome. So man, we definitely appreciate it. But the SPod's really straightforward, guys. What it is it's a base system that allows you to run a whole bunch of accessories to the brain, and then instead of having to run like 70 billion wires through your firewall, you just run it to the source, bingo, the source, and then run that wire through your firewall to the switch bank, which has all your switches. So there's a 6-bank switch inside there. I think it's a 6, or might be an 8. And that runs to here, and then all of my accessories, my light bars, my fridge socket, what else? My air compressor, the winch will be running here, and then, you know, whatever else I want to add into that. So that has made it absolutely awesome to work on the truck now. Oh. And then full disclosure, if you guys watch this install video, which I'll put a drop down here, but if you watch this video, you'll notice that I made a comment where, you know, this is kind of rubbing close to the intake, and I hope that it doesn't become a problem. It did become a problem. So what actually ended up happening is that over the last year that this was sitting here, it is on a bracket, but what ended up happening is it wore through my intake manifold and caused an absolutely enormous evac leak, because it eventually just jumping and jiving on the trails and having the engine, because your engine's on mounts, right? And it's gonna move, and it's a lot of weight, and it kind of sits on bushings, and within those bushings it has a little bit of movement, and that movement was more than enough to slowly just doing this over and over on the corner here. It wore a hole through and had a massive evac leak on the trail. And that was bad because we lost a lot of power, and we were in some sketchy places with the Yucca pack on it. So yeah, that being said, what I've done is I put a piece of foam weather stripping on the intake, and then another piece on the bottom of the SPod going this way. That way, and then I just keep an eye on it to make sure it's not wearing down over time. Yeah, so then I patched that hole, and away we go. Now, on the second note, this is also the air line that attaches to my air compressor. So I keep this in just right beside the battery here, in the vehicle at all times. Okay, so obviously one of the biggest changes that we did last year was the front bumper. So this bumper is the Coastal Off-Road Flat Pack weld together kit. It is, in my personal opinion, the best front bumper that you can buy for your Nissan Frontier, or virtually anything, because of the clearance that it gives you, and it's a very sleek look. It's a very nice design. The tubes themselves were added on after the fact by Jordan over at New Fab Coatings. He was the one that actually fabbed up and coated the bumper, so big shout out to New Fab Coatings here in Lacombe. They do all of our coating for Yucca Pack campers as well. But yeah, so this is the Coastal Off-Road High Clearance bumper. I think it's the new bump of version 2 for the Nissan Frontier, or maybe it's for the 2nd gen Frontier. This bumper is absolutely insane. The amount of clearance that it has given me and confidence that it has given me off-road is just way better, because I'm not worried of tearing off the front corner of my bumper, which is connected to my fender, if I get into a weird situation on the trail, because I'm running big meaty tires. So this is absolutely incredible. So shout out to everybody at Coastal Off-Road for this kit. It's absolutely incredible. I absolutely love it. This fairly was actually donated to the channel by 4-Wheel Auto up in Edmonton right before the Alberta Outdoor Adventure Expo. By the way, if you don't know what that is, YouTube the Alberta AOA, the AOA Expo in Alberta. It's Alberta's first and only outdoor adventure expo geared towards people that just love the outdoors. So that's anglers, fishers, backpackers, off-roaders, overlanders, campers in general. It's just a place where we all can gather once a year and hang out, learn about some cool stuff, do some cool classes, and just hang out. So this was donated by them, by 4-Wheel Auto, who was a vendor at this year's AOA Expo. And then underneath, I've also got the Coastal Off-Road steel radiator skid plate. And then the rest of the skid plate underneath is actually all aluminum. So aside from the skid plate, the Coastal Off-Road bumper and skid plate is what I got from them. And it's great. It's game changer. We're gonna put some pods in here really soon, smash a winch in there, and that'll finish up the front of the truck. So big happy with the Coastal Off-Road bumper. One of my favorite mods for 2021 for sure. All right, and now for probably the most obvious mod that we did in 2021. The EcoPack camper is honestly, it's the biggest mod that I've done on my truck, period. It incredibly increased the amount of camping space and space that I have while I'm out west, and the elements in which I can camp in. It's a fully insulated unit. It's got a 4-season shell tent on top, which is a wedge style tent on top. It's got cabinet space, table, lights, propane, chargers. It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome little unit. This has completely revolutionized camping for me. I love being able to store my stuff in the cabinet itself. I like dropping down that big door and having a table where I can actually work on stuff. I love having the mole panels on the side so I can throw mole pouches on there full of gear. Yeah, and then up top, we got a full 4-inch mattress up there. We got windows, buck screens. It's just awesome. This is definitely one of my favorite mods that I've done to my truck, period. It's a little bit more weight than some people are going to want to carry, at least full time. I don't mind it being on there full time. This is what I do. So, but for those of you that, I don't know if I can keep one of those in my truck. You don't have to. They're light enough that you can pull them off with some friends, or, build a small A-frame kind of skid there and reef them off with a 2x4. It's not too difficult at all. But yeah, so the EcoPack camper is probably one of my favorite mods that I've done to my truck in 2021.
Okay, so the other thing that I did right before the expo was do a full, your garbage, rear seat delete. I had been waiting to do this for a while. I just didn't know if I wanted to go through the work to remove the whole seat in the event that I had to put it back. But you know what? I'm a single guy. I've only got a dog, and I've got a passenger seat if need be. So what I've done is I did a full rear seat delete. And underneath here, I've got a whole bunch of camping gear. So I basically made a platform with folding out doors where I keep a big first aid kit, an extra fuel canister. I've got a slack line in here, a stove for my scuttle, some fishing gear. Zeus's sleeping bag is in here as well. I keep my dog leash in here, RFX truck accessories stuff like my deflator, anything that I need to access quickly. Is just a really quick door flip away. And I've also got some general camping gear in here. But that is, actually this is probably Zeus's favorite modification, I think, is his bed, because, Zeus spends so much time in the truck just because it's a safe place for him, and he likes to snooze, and he's getting up there in age. He's 9.5, 10 years old now, so but it is nice. It does help keep my truck really clean. My fridge typically sits there on that side. And then I got my go bag, my 48-hour go bag right there. Snow pants, winter coat, just in case. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So yeah, guys, there you go. That is this video. Those are my favorite mods that I've done to my truck in 2021. Every single one of those mods was, with the exception to the EcoPack, I mean, I did it myself, but if you were to buy a EcoPack, it's not a DIY thing. But aside from that, most of the stuff has all been kind of a DIY, install yourself, find deals on Craigslist, use what you have available, and make it work. That's half the stuff on this build. Aside from the EcoPack, you guys need to understand that you don't need to spend a lot of money to do this stuff. This is my primary hobby, so I funnel a lot of my personal income into this stuff because it brings me joy. You don't need to do that if you don't like cars or trucks or that process of tinkering. You don't need to have all this crazy stuff to do it, but it is a lot of fun when you do have it, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm a car guy, so it doesn't take me much effort to want to tinker and modify my truck and my vehicle. So that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. If you have any questions, or if you have anything that you want to see, maybe you want to see more install videos, more gear review videos. I typically don't do gear review videos, so this is my sneaky way of doing a gear review video with my top favorite mods for 2021. All right, everybody. Well, once again, thanks so much for sticking through. If you're one of those rare people that actually watch this video from end to end, I want to give you a really special thank you. You know, there's not too many of us that do that. The most people that watch videos will watch 3 to 5 minutes. So, according to YouTube algorithm, anyway, if you're one of the people that have watched this video from end to end, big thank you, big shout out to you guys. I couldn't do this stuff without you, so thank you so much. That's all I got for you guys. 2022 is here, so go do something worth doing. You know, find a new hobby, find someone to love. 2022. Here we go. Let's do it.